What's going on, you guys? I'm John Turner. This is Ryan, and this is What's the Table, and we hope you guys just had an amazing Valentine's weekend. Ours couldn't have been any better. Hope you got to spend it with the one or ones that you love, and we got to sit around and just watch movies and just hang out all weekend. It was kind of a rainy weekend. But it was all, what were we watching? What movie were we watching?
Abominable.
Abominable, and they make pork buns in that movie. That got me thinking. I've never done that before. So we're gonna try to make some Chinese barbecue and make some pork buns for the first time ever using some pork from the wild pig that I harvested just a couple weeks ago. And the recipe looks simple enough. I don't know how bad could it be, right? We'll give this a try and just see how it goes. Y'all stick with us.
Hashtag my idea.
It was his idea. All right, so the ingredients for this look like they couldn't be simpler. We're gonna add a tablespoon and a half of brown sugar. We're gonna add a teaspoon of Asian 5 spice, quarter cup of honey from the Honey Bear, quarter cup of Hoshin sauce. What is this? 1 tablespoon of light soy, 2 tablespoons regular soy, 1 tablespoon vegetable oil, and then 2 teaspoons of red food coloring. Give the pork that nice red color that you're used to having when you eat Chinese food. Booyah. All right, we're gonna make the marinade that goes on this meat. You ready?
Yeah.
Let's mix it up. Okay, go ahead, start with the brown sugar. I'm gonna grab the honey and we'll just meet in the middle. Oh no, I don't know if this is gonna be enough.
That's 2 tablespoons, right? 2
teaspoons.
Yeah, that's enough.
Oh no! Oh no! All right, last step in this marinade, we're gonna take our pork. Incidentally, I've got part of the front shoulder here and then some of our pork tenderloins. And we're just gonna throw these into a gallon Ziploc bag. There you go. And then dump our marinade in there. We're gonna let this sit for 1 to 2 days. The longer the better. And just let that just marinate in there and just get that flavor in there really nice and deep. And then also turn it that nice red color that we want. Ready? All right, you wanna pour it in?
Sure.
Okay. Well, that's a nice consistency that you made there. Ooh. Oh!
Oh!
We're falling apart. So we're just gonna mix this around in this bag, make sure it's all covered up really well, seal it up, and probably throw this into a glass dish or something, just in case something leaks, because you don't want everything in your fridge to be red. We're gonna put that in there overnight, right? Okay. All right, so that pork has been marinating for about 48 hours, just soaking up all the flavor, and it's gonna be absolutely awesome. I've got a little bit of a problem with the different cuts and sizes of meat, and I've got a front shoulder roast and a couple different pieces of tenderloin. It's gonna be hard to get those to a really consistent temperature and not overdo them if I roast them. So, best way I know of in order to get meat to a consistent temperature inside, sous vide cooker, baby. You had to know that was gonna make an appearance in this video anyway. But that's the best thing that I know to use for a situation exactly like this. So what I'm gonna do is I've taken all of our pork out of the original bag of marinade here and saved this, and I'm gonna show you how we're gonna turn this into a glaze that we're gonna use once it comes out of the sous vide cooker. We're gonna just baste this and put it in on broil, really high temperature for just a couple of minutes, and just get that really nice caramelized, flavor and texture on the outside of the meat. So each of those cuts has gotten its own Ziploc bag, and we're gonna go ahead and just drop those into the sous vide cooker. As I say, 139 degrees for 1 hour and 40 or 1 hour and 45 minutes. For the buns themselves, you're gonna wanna make your dough from scratch, and it couldn't be easier. The first step is to activate the yeast. You're gonna combine a quarter cup of warm water, a tablespoon of sugar, and a teaspoon and a half of your yeast, and then mix them together. You'll wanna do this first, so you can set it aside and let that yeast activate for a good 10 minutes. Next, you make up your dough. Take 2 cups of flour, a cup of cornmeal, and 4 tablespoons of sugar. Combine those in a big bowl. After the yeast has had time to activate, go ahead and combine that with a half cup of warm water, a quarter cup of vegetable oil, and stir it all together to make your dough. Now you're looking for dough, not paste, so there shouldn't be much moisture in this at all. Knead it together into a big ball, and then tightly wrap it in plastic wrap and set it aside for about 2 hours and let that dough rise. All right, so pork is cooking, about halfway done. The dough is rising, and now we're gonna go ahead and just make our kind of sauce for the filling that's gonna go with the pork inside the pork buns. To start this off, you're gonna mix a tablespoon of vegetable oil and sugar with a tablespoon and a half of soy and oyster sauce or hoisin. We'll come back to this in a bit. But it's about time to work on those pork buns. So let's put the dough out on the counter, a little flour underneath, and we're gonna quarter this into 4 evenly sized pieces. That done, we just wanna turn our quartered pieces of the dough into kind of a little, I don't know, cylinder or something. And we wanna, basically what we're driving towards here is we wanna turn our dough into 12 evenly sized pieces, which we do by quartering first. And now we want to turn it into each of those quarter pieces into thirds. So that at the end of the day, look, we have 12 evenly sized pieces of dough that we can turn into 12 pork buns. Pork just finished in the middle of making the buns. So we're gonna go ahead and add these two, lay them out on a sheet pan. Man, it smells good. And it looks good. So we got exactly the color that we wanted. And I'm gonna go ahead and turn this marinade into a glaze. I'm gonna go ahead and add this to just a small or medium-sized saucepan. Put that on medium-high heat. And then we're gonna add a little bit of honey, a little bit more honey anyway, and just let this cook and just kind of reduce down, thicken up, and that's what we're gonna use for our glaze to go on our pork when it goes on broil. See how this turned out? Just looking at a piece here on the edge. Oh yeah, it looks like we got just the perfect consistency. You see we got like the red coloring on the outside and everything. This glaze could have been a little bit thicker, but I think that's on me. I don't think I was patient enough to let it thicken up on the stove and everything like that. So I'm gonna continue to slice this stuff and cube it and throw that into the dish here. And then we're gonna go ahead and finish up our filling and get this into the pork buns. Can you see that? That looks absolutely awesome. In the home stretch, if you can believe it or not, we're gonna go ahead and add just some olive oil, and then we're gonna do a 1/3 cup of onions for every 1 1/3 cup of our pork. And then we're gonna add our filling and a little bit of this cornstarch and water. Let that all combine, and then we're gonna add those to the pork buns. This is a labor of love, and I love you. This is why we're doing this. Onions have been going for about 2 minutes, and as soon as those start to cook down a little bit, we're gonna add, for this recipe, we're gonna add about a 1 1/3 cup of our pork. Oh yeah, buddy. I love that sound. I'm gonna add a little bit more. Then we're gonna add all of our filling. Just dressing, mixed up, and then cornstarch and water. I think that's about a tablespoon of each.
I have added cornstarch and water to your shopping list.
Now don't do that! Cancel? Alexa, cancel? All right. We're just gonna stir this all together for a couple minutes. Let that all combine in there, and then our filling is gonna be done. Can't believe it. Before I go to bed tonight, I believe I'm gonna have a pork bun. Here we go. We're gonna take each one of these pork bun tortillas, buns, shells. We're gonna take the dough that we mashed out into these little circles. And I think we're supposed to just, if you want to do this like the really artsy way, you want to mash these up into these little, you know, kind of little shapes like this. Kind of raise them, pinch them like that. It's going to help our presentation here in a minute.
We think.
We think. That's a lot of filling for that little dude. All right, here we go. Gonna fold him in. Fold in the pork bun until it all touches in the middle, then twist it all together. The important thing is, it doesn't matter how it looks. It's gonna taste exactly the same. Not terrible.
Pretty good.
Good. Let's make a few more. What do you say? We got these liners that came with the bamboo steamer, holes in the bottom. It's gonna let the steam just come up through there. Put a little bit of water in the bottom of your pan or wok, and we're just gonna add our beautifully constructed pork buns to the inside of this bamboo steamer. Cover it up with the lid. And as soon as this comes up to temperature, we're gonna put these on here and let them steam for 12 minutes. Timer's going off. Let's see if I can grab these things. Whoa! Whoa! Nah. Oven mitts. Anybody out there wants to send us something? Some new oven mitts would not be a bad thing. All right, here we go. Right. Here we go. Ooh.
Look at that.
Despite my own ineptitude and inexperience, those look amazing.
Now, despite looking amazing, you do want to make sure they're done. They should be a springy consistency. So when you push on them, they push back.
It is awesome. Oh my gosh.
Yay.
I hope you guys enjoyed this. Don't be afraid to try it. Spend time with your family. Your kids will enjoy it. Ryan's gonna love this tomorrow. We'll see you next time, and God bless.
In fact, we liked them so much, we decided not to make Ryan wait.
So Parents of the Year.
Parents of the Year.
12:44.
It's almost 1 in the morning.
We had to get Ryan.
I had to get Ryan up out of bed. But to be fair, this wouldn't have happened at all without Ryan. This is Ryan's idea. So I wouldn't be standing here at almost 1 in the morning eating wild pork buns out of a bamboo steamer if not for this kid and his big imagination. So what'd you think of them?
I love it.
That was awesome, wasn't it? It's really cool. The fact that we made these with wild pork, right? So it came from a pig that we hunted, and we tried a brand new recipe, new cooking style. I've never done a bamboo steamer before. All this is brand new to us, apart from the pig hunting.
Yeah.
Yeah? Good idea. Appreciate you introduced us to something
You're
new.
welcome.
Oh, thank you. All right, finish your pork bun and go to bed. You gotta go. So you got school in the morning. All right, I'm gonna eat this last one now.